Yes, Pavan, you've raised your hand. Okay, I'll wait for one more minute and we'll see that if some other students are joining, then I'll start after 1 minute, okay? The link has been shared by the NPTEL, Pavan. Sorry, Ajit. You can check your mail. You would have received the announcement. Okay, so we'll start the session now. Anyone is having any issue with the last class? Okay, so we'll move on with the new session. So I hope my this PPT is visible to all, right? Can anyone confirm?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So so in last class we have covered many things like infinite for loop, break statement, and something like basic programming in C. Now in this session we'll see that how the operators work and what basically the logical operators, post increment, pre increment, and other things, and then we'll slowly move on to handling the arrays and how are we able to, like, how we can write the logic to find an element inside the array and creating an array and accessing an array and everything like that. Okay, so as part of a first problem, I have this question that which says, like, I have this integer I, which is a variable assigned to 10. Now what I am doing is I am printing the value of I plus plus. So what this line will say, that the value of I is something I plus plus, and the value of I is versatile D, which will take the value of plus plus I. So can anyone tell me that what is the value of I plus at line number 1? If I initialize the value of I to be 10.
11.
11.
Okay, so here people are saying that line 1 will print 11. And what will the line number 2 will print?
It is also 11.
This will also print 11.
10.
Okay, so okay, so with this we'll see that what is post increment and what is pre increment. But as part of the answer, I'll say the first line, since it's a post increment, but after learning the concept of pre increment and the post increment, we'll see that what would be the value. Okay. So the problem was the question was I was 10, and what I've written is I plus plus. This was line number 1, and plus plus I. This was line number 2. So at this point of time, at line number 1, what happens? Can anyone tell me that what is this? It's a pre increment or it's a post increment? What it is?
Post increment.
Okay, it's a post increment. And what the line number 2 is?
Line number 2, pre increment.
Okay, it's a pre increment. So when we are saying that with the post increment, what happens is what we are doing is we are printing the value, right? We are
First
printing the,
execute, then initialize.
yeah, first it will execute the line, and then it will assign. Okay, so at this point how the things will go, since it's a post increment I plus plus and the initial value of I was 10, so what the so the value that will be printed is 10, but in memory, because this would be stored in some stack where the program is being stored, so I, which was 10, it will be incremented to 11, but the value that it has used, because it is accessing the value prior to the increment, so first it
Between
will,
10 and 12.
sorry,
Between 10 and 12. Line 1 10 and line 2 is
yes,
12.
yes, so what it will do, first it will access this value at this point, that means it will print the value and then it will increment this value. So in memory we would be having the value 11, but the printing we will, what we will get is 10. Similarly, if I am dealing with the pre-increment, what it says, first okay, this thing, I'm so sorry, what I've told you, this thing is first thing, this is the pre thing. First you have to execute. Okay, just let me rephrase my statement. When we are dealing with pre, for what we have, first we have to execute and then we will use, and when we are dealing with the post, first we will use and then we will execute. Okay, so in the post, first we have used the value 10 and then we are executing the statement plus plus. In the pre, what we will do, first we will execute it, that means we will execute this plus plus. So in memory the value was 11, it will be incremented to 12 and then we will use the new value, that means plus plus I, this will print the value 12. So the output that we will be getting is 10 and 12. So anyone is having any doubt with the pre and the post increment operators? Okay, yes Pavan, you have raised your hand.
मैं करता था पुरानी वैल्यू स्टोर करते हैं
किस में? हेलो पवन.
पोस्ट इंक्रीमेंट में
Pavan, I think your voice is getting I'm not able to hear you properly. So if possible, can you write the statement in the chat box? Okay. Okay, except Pavan, anyone is having any doubt with the post and the pre? The similar thing happened with the post decrement, pre decrement, and the other operators also. Okay, so
Ma'am?
this, yes.
Ma'am, if pre-increment and post-increment is present in one line, then fast execute. What is fast execute?
Sorry, if the pre increment and the post increment are present, what?
In the same line. What is which one fast execute, on the pre-increment
That
or
depends.
post-increment?
Yes, that depends on the associativity of the operators. So how? What is the associativity of the plus plus operator is? How does it executed in a line? So that also we'll look in the further examples. There comes the notion of the precedence, because if multiple operators are there in a single line, then we have to go with the precedence of the operators. If the brackets are not there, if the brackets are there, then we go with our traditional BODMAS rule. Okay, the C also goes with the traditional BODMAS rule. Inner brackets are solved first, but if the brackets are not there, then we will be looking into the precedence of the operators, and if we are finding the operators of the same precedence, then we'll go into looking into the associativity of the operators. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, Kalyan is saying, but in for loop both works as same way. Why? Uh, by this statement, I assume that you are saying when we are writing uh, the increment in the for loop, right? Right, Kalyan? So if I talk about the increment of the for loop, what we are doing is we are incrementing at some line and then we are executing how the program counter works. If we look into the in depth of this, how the instruction set works, this I plus plus is something that is stored in one program counter. If there is some other statement inside the for loop, so that is some other line that is being executed by the program. So I plus plus happens, that is like you haven't used that I plus plus anywhere, right? That I you haven't used it in the same line, but you are using it in some other line. That's why it behaves like same. It feels like that it is same, but it is not. In memory, if you see, it is not same. It's just because we are not using that value at that point of time. Okay, Kalyan, I hope this is clear. Okay, the next question is, yeah, Ajit, value will increase in post increment, yes. I'm pleased still about the exam pattern. This is my first exam going to give an NPTEL. I'm not sure what would be the exam pattern, so let's not divert ourselves with the session that we are dealing with, because this exam pattern is yet not decided. That will be like informed by the NPTEL only. I don't know about anything about this anything. Yes, Ajit. Ajit, kind.
पोस्ट इंक्रीमेंट वैल्यू पहले इंक्रीज करेगी, उसके बाद स्टोर होती है ना.
In post increment,
जैसे आई के वैल्यू 10 है तो पहले 20 इंक्रीज करती है शायद पोस्ट में, और जो प्री होता है उसमें पुराना वैल्यू स्टोर होगा, उसके बाद में इंक्रीमेंट.
no. Post itself means, if you go with the English word, post itself means after something, right? So post means first you'll use the value, then you'll increment the value. Okay. Okay, Kalyan is saying, but according to definition, it is wrong. So, Kalyan, can you elaborate the statement? For I plus plus, you have to increment one value or two value. I plus plus is equivalent to I equal to I plus 1. So, it's the value is incremented by 1 only. Yes, Kalyan, that's what I'm saying. I plus plus means first you will use that value. Use means in that particular statement, what is the use of that particular I? That you will do first and then you will increment. That is what his assignment is. Yeah, similar fashion, plus plus I, because it's a pre-increment. Kalyan, I hope that I'm clear with the plus plus I and the I plus plus. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so this is what the solution is. At line number 1, we will be having the value printed to be 10, but in the memory the value will be 11. But at line number 2, both the value, the printed value, and in the memory the both will be 12, because it's a pre-increment. Now, this also I would like you people to solve this problem. That suppose I have this variable which is assigned b, because if I'm assigning this b uh, uh, to this variable, and if I'm doing this var plus equal to 2, which is equivalent to this var equal to var plus 2, and then in the next line I'm doing var plus plus, so what will be the value printed at this print in this printf? Anyone having any guesses?
66.
66 at what? In percentile C or in percentile D? Or in both? Anyone? And why 66? Whosoever answered 66. Sorry?
ASCII value of B.
The sky value of B. And okay, if the sky value of B is printed, so I would like to know that where it will be printed, in percentile D or in percentile C.
Percentile C.
69 and
Okay, let's see. Can anyone tell me that from where the sky value, what is the sky value of A? Anyone, any idea?
67.
65.
65.
Yeah,
65.
the sky value of A is 65. So if we see at this point, we have var okay, so those who are not clear with this, we have this var equal to b, so the value starts from a, which is assigned 65 to a. Now if we go to the b, the value is assigned 66. In the next line, the statement was var plus equal to 2, which is equivalent to var equal to var plus 2, right? So if I am doing var equal to var plus 2, that means I am doing some arithmetic operations on it. And if I am doing some arithmetic operations on it, these arithmetic operations, these are being performed on the ASCII value. So this arithmetic operation will take place on the ASCII value, and plus 2 will increment the value of this to 68. Okay. Now I have this 68 value. On the next line, I was having the value var plus plus. So although it's a post increment operator, but I'm not I'm not printing it or doing anything with the old value, right? So it's equivalent to var equal to var plus 1, right? So what it will do, it will assign the the var to be some ASCII value 69. So the 69, if we see, it is E. Okay. So now on the next line, what I had is percentile C and percentile D. So this is where you want to print the character or you want to print the integer. Okay, so if we are trying to print the character, what if we are writing percentile C, what it will print is E, and if we are writing percentile D, what it will print is the ASCII value of that character. So that will be 69. So the answer to that would be E and 69. Okay. Anyone is having any issue with the ASCII values and this post increment that I have taken? Because it is the post increment is some extension of the previous example. If anyone is having any issue, okay. If plus plus var means it is printed in 68 or 69. Okay. Yeah, many people has given the correct answer. Okay. Okay, Kalyan is saying that if plus plus var means it is printed, that's 68 or 69. Okay. Kalyan, I'm not able to get this statement, but the thing is, if you are doing plus plus var or var plus plus, it doesn't matter if you are using the value of variable in the next line of code. Here you can see there are these two are two different line of code, right? There is var plus plus and I'm printing the value in the some other line. If it was something if it would have been something like var equal to b, var plus equal to 2, printf percentile c var plus plus, then it would have been d instead of e. Okay, because you are using that value in the same line and then you are incrementing it. But since they are like written in different line, so when the program counter moves on to the next line, it has already incremented the value and stored the value. So now the next line says that we want to use the new value of var that was incremented or decremented in the previous line. I hope, Kalyan, that is clear. Okay, Nandan is saying if it was plus plus var, was what is the answer? The answer would be same if it was plus plus var. Okay. Okay, Aman is saying, can you please explain how e comes? 1 second. Okay. See, initially the value of var was b, whose ASCII value is 66. The next line of code was var plus equal to 2, which is similar to var equal to var plus 2. Now since it's an arithmetic operation, the 66 value will be incremented by 2, which we get 68, and then we had var plus plus, which is equivalent to var equal to var plus 1, which increments the value of 68 by 1 and gives us 69. Now if you look into the ASCII value of A, B, C, D, E, if A is 65, B would be 66, similarly C would be 67, D would be 68 and E would be 69. Now in the printf, what I was doing is I was printing percentile C, I was printing percentile D. Percentile D means integer value, percentile C means character value. So if I am printing the character of var, then this will be stored in this one, so that means this will print E, and the second one will be stored in this one and it will print E, 69, which is the ASCII value of E. That is it clear, Aman? Okay. Kalyan is saying if x equal to var I plus plus, if x equal to var I plus plus, printf x what it is. If x equal to, okay, what do you want to say in this is if x is equals to var I plus plus, then x, it would be the old value of x, because the variable first just see whether this is allowed or not, because I don't think that it is allowed. X equal to var I plus plus, because var I plus plus itself means var I equal to var I plus 1, and we don't have this type of expression x equal to var I equal to var I plus 1 in C. Okay. Monagla is saying that what is the difference between the pre and the post increment? Okay. Pre-increment, Monagla, that I think you have recently joined. So previously I mentioned that pre-increment means that the value should be first incremented and then it should be used, and post means first it should be used and then it should be incremented. So if you go with the term, we have plus plus I, we have I plus plus. This is pre, this is post. Okay, pre means whatsoever is the value. If suppose I was 10, whatsoever is the value, first increment it and then use it. That means I will be made to be 11 in memory, and then you will be if you print that value, the value will be printed 11. And if I do this I plus plus, and if the initially the value of I was 10 and I'm printing this I plus plus, that means value 10 will be printed and in memory it will be updated 11. That means first it is used and then it is incremented. That is the meaning of post. Is it clear, Munagla, Manoj? Okay. This is official or unofficial? I don't understand. What is the meaning of the statement? This is official or unofficial? Pre-incrementing, the value should be first used. Aman, pre-increment means value should be first incremented and then it should be used. Okay, I think everyone is clear with their doubts, so we can move on to the next example. So for the third problem, I would like to know that what will be the output of this statement in the printf. Anyone, any guesses?
$36.
Okay. Okay, so instead of digging deep into this question, since I've already explained the pre-increment and the post-increment, the only thing which is different from other example is like how this p plus plus and the plus plus p will be assigned to this q. So it always happens that it follows the associativity of these operators.
37 नहीं होगा?
For the q, you are saying? Yeah, the answer will be 37 only.
37.
Yeah, 37. Because the operator's associative deals with the right to left, no? So what will happen is plus plus p will be executed and then p plus plus. Okay, anyone is having any issue with this question, because it's similar to the previous problem, so I think this makes sense. How the associativity, what you have to check is the associativity, and then you will be you have to assign the value to the q, and then the q will be printed. Okay. So the answer of that question will be 37, because the p plus plus will be executed and then the plus plus p, and the final value of the p will be, since it's a pre-increment at the end, so the value will be incremented and then it will be assigned to the q, and the q will get the value 37. Now let's see one more example, that first, whether this program is correct or not. If it is correct, then what will be the output, and if it is not correct, then why it is not correct. So if anyone is having any answer, just raise your hand, then we can discuss on those points. Okay, so first is what I'm doing, I'm printing this AAA, and what I'm doing is I'm assigning this value to X, that whatsoever the printf is printing, and then I'm printing this value of X. Similarly, in the next line I have this AND operator, which is the logical AND instead of the logical OR, and then I'm printing the value. So can anyone tell me that what would be the first of all, whether the program is correct or not? Can I write this type of program? Anyone?
क्वेश्चन देख नहीं रहा है.
Okay, I was reading the comments. I think the previous problem is not clear to some students. Just look at the problem and let me know whether I can write this type of thing or not. One student is saying that we cannot write this type of program. Anyone else having any other opinion? Okay, so let's move on to the answer, that whether we can write this or not. So what happens is, whenever you are printing whenever you are storing some printf onto some value, what happens is, suppose I am doing some printf of A, right? So this is there in the stdio.h. So what is the return value of printf is whether it is able to print something or not, whether it is able to print something or not. That means if it is able to print AA, then it will return 1. Guys, if you don't have any questions or something, just kindly mute yourself. I request everyone to mute yourself if you don't have any doubt. So if it is able to print anything, then it will return 1, else it will return 0. So here we can see that this printf is able to print AA. So what is the value stored in X will be 1, and when I am printing this value X, this will be assigned this X will be having the value 1, and 1 will be printed. Similarly, if we see the program that I have written is with some logical OR. So whether either this condition should be true or this condition should be true, if we are talking about the logical operator, right? So whether it is able to print with AA, or it should be able to print with BB. Okay, so this if it is able to print with any of the thing, then one will be stored in the X. Okay, so here we can see that X will be printed as 1, and here we see that since it's an AND operator, if this is able to print something and this is able to print something, if both the conditions are true, that means if both the printf are returning 1, then the x will have the value 1 and the value will be printed. Anyone is having any issue with this, with the printf?
Ma'am?
Because, yes,
ए भी प्रिंट होगा तो ना, प्रिंटफ ए है।
hmm?
फर्स्ट कंडीशन में प्रिंटफ डबल कोट का अंदर डबल ए है,
Yes,
जब प्रिंटफ वाला फंक्शन ट्रू है तो प्रिंटफ का अंदर डबल ए है, वो भी तो प्रिंट हो जाएगा ना।
yes, वो भी प्रिंट होगा। yes,
और सेकंड कंडीशन में ए भी प्रिंट होगा, बी भी प्रिंट होगा, ये तो एंड है।
yes.
ओके मैम।
So I am not telling about the output. What I am trying to focus is that what will be the value stored in x.
ओके
Okay, so if we see the output, what will happen is we are having the OR condition. Since we are having true from this end only, that is 1, we are getting 1 from this end. So this will be having AA with 1 at this line, and here what will be having, since it's an AND condition, we'll be having AA, BB, and then 1 will be printed. Okay, so the output will be AA1 and AABB1. Anyone is having any doubt?
Excuse me, ma'am.
मम्मी यार चिल्लाने की लिमिट होती है।
Ma'am, how AA1 will be printed, ma'am? It should be only one, right?
Sorry, can you repeat yourself?
Ma'am, how AA1 can be printed, ma'am? It should be only one, ma'am, because X X is storing only one, no, ma'am.
Yeah, X is storing 1, but we should not forget the functionality of the printf also. Although it is X is storing something that is returned by printf, okay? But
Yes, ma'am.
printf is also having the functionality of printing on the screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so this will print something on the screen, and this will then print what is being returned by the printf. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Anyone else having any issue? Y1 no error. Okay, Y1 not possible, ma'am. So this is possible, this is a valid code. No error, yes, it doesn't have any error. Y1, ma'am, because it is able to print something. If it is able to print something on the screen, then it will return 1, otherwise it will return 0. So if you see, suppose you are having some you are having in printf something %d, and you're trying to print some float value, then what will happen is it won't be able to print anything, because it can it cannot if we are talking about the typecasting, right, it cannot decast, but it can increase the number of decimal points, right? So if it is downcasting, it won't be able to do that. Then printf will return 0, and the 0 will be stored in x. Okay. Okay, Sarfaraz is having that OR and return 1 if it is true. Okay, Sarfaraz, I'm not able to get this thing. Can you please elaborate? Yes, Lakshmidhar, you have some doubt? In first one, or why BB1 is not printed? Because since it's a OR condition, so if we are having this OR condition, A or B. So if we see about the real world thing, it's either of this should be true. If this is true, if the first condition is true, why would we go on checking the second condition? we know that the first condition is true, then we can just omit the next condition. And if we are able to find out that this is false, then we go on checking the next thing in the hope that this might be true. So if any of the condition is true, then we say that the entire condition is true, right? That's why in this case this we have this AA, right, before the OR. This AA will be printed because the first is itself returning 1, and the next other part of the OR condition is not checked. But in AND operation, it means that both the condition that I'm providing, it should be true. Okay, that's why both AA and BB will be printed, and the output of this 1 and 1, which is equal to 1, is stored in X, and it will be printed on the screen. Okay, I hope Sarfaraz that this OR and AND is clear. Okay, Rosie, is this clear or not? Just can you just type in the chat box? Kalyan, you have to look into more and more problems on the internet. You will be able to find these type of questions, or you can go on looking into that how the standard textbooks, they have these type of problem questions. The statement like this, X equal to printf B or printf A, and the output is BB1. Yes, Sakshi, the output will be BB and 1. Yes, BB1 will be the output. Okay. Nandan, you have to refer to the standard textbooks for these type of questions, or you can go into looking into the gate questions also.
Ma'am,
Yes.
if I score only 0 out of 100 of any question of any assignment, and can I able to for offline exam?
I'm not sure, Rigdipa. You have to like check with the weightage of the assignments and everything.
ओके मैम, लेकिन अगर सिर्फ एक ही क्वेश्चन में 0 आया है तो एक असाइनमेंट के अंदर
सिर्फ एक ही क्वेश्चन है, I don't think that would matter much because you have a number of assignments where you can cover up.
ओके,
Okay.
थैंक यू.
And Aman is saying, can you have a model paper of the previous year questions for strong preparation? Okay, Aman, I don't have the access to all those things. If you want, you can contact NPTEL, or you can look into the previous offerings that are done on the NPTEL. I think that would be there. You can check. Okay. Okay, Kalyan, I'll ask NPTEL I'll provide the list of books to the NPTEL, and they'll share with you. Okay. Okay, Vivek, you have that Y1 comes at the end of the output. Okay, if we see, okay, let me explain this once more. That if I'm having this printf AA, what happens is it is able to print something and it is returning 1 to this X. What I'm doing this printf is printing something AA and it is storing in X. The functionality of printf is printing something, and if it is able to print something, it will return 1. So this will print AA, it is returning 1, which is stored in X, and then I'm printing X without any next line. That's why this AA, and then this is 1. Then the next line is there. Then I have AA with an AND operation which enforces the next condition also to be checked. That means whether it is able to print something or not. And the functionality of the print is printing also. So what it will do is it will print AA, it will print BB, it will perform the AND of both of the return value of both the printf. That return value is stored in the X, and then that value will be printed. Okay, that's why we are getting 1 at the end. Is it clear, Vivek? Okay. Where the notes will be uploaded of today's class. Everything will be uploaded like the previous session. Okay. So I think no one is having any issue. So we can move on to the. Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, in the previous question, ma'am, that there's the third one, ma'am. Could you please repeat only the how we get the output?
In this one?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So can you tell me that what is the this associativity of pre-increment and the post-increment? Because the precedence of both the operators are same, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So can you tell me the associativity of the operators? So if the precedence are same, my first question is what will you go on to looking?
Ma'am, from right to left.
No, not it's not right to left or left to right. It's called associativity.
Ma'am, then Q will be assigned with plus plus P first, no, ma'am. Like pre-increment P.
Okay, you're saying that it will be assigned plus plus P. Okay, so because the associativity is right to left, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it should be 36 and the yeah, 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 you're correct. The answer should be 36. Or you can because sometimes it depends on the compiler also. So it might be 37 on some other compilers how the value are being assigned because it is being used in some other variable. It depends on the compiler. To
In
my
Dev C++, it's print 37.
sorry.
In Dev C++ compiler, it prints 37.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As I know, I think these things depends on the these are compiler dependent also how the value are being assigned. And on some
Or is
compiler it would be
the right
37.
answer?
Both are right. In that sense, both are right. Okay. But if you go with the logic, it would be 36. How if you look into the precedence, if you look into the associativity, it would be 36 only. Okay. I hope it's clear.
Yes, ma'am. Clear. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So now let's see that how we can now let's like go into the coding part instead of solving the output problems. Can anyone tell me the logic of how we can traverse an array given the size with the given size n? This thing I think it's very easy, we have done in the previous classes also.
Using
What
for
is the
loop.
meaning of traverse?
Sorry?
What is traverse?
What does traversal means? Traversal means that okay. Traversal means that
Visiting.
yeah, I have this type of some boxes arranged in some sequence. I want to visit this box also, this box also, this box also, this box also, this one, up till the last one. That is called the traversal.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm saying I have an array
For loop.
of size n. Yeah, for loop. Any other way? Now I want to traverse this entire array. So we have for loop. We do have while loop also. Okay. So with the help of these two loops, we can do the traversal. So traversal is nothing like you just what you will do is like you will write a loop.
0 to n.
Yeah, 0 to n. Now traversal means like suppose you want to, with the traversal you want to print those value. Now this is the suppose array, then you'll write this. So I, so the main purpose of this question is, does everyone know how this indexing works, and what is this, what is this?
Index, madam.
Yeah, everyone knows about it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, anyone is not like aware of these things? No, sorting. No, no, no. I'm not talking about sorting. Whosoever is this Google developer, I'm not talking about sorting. It's just the traversal. Sorting is something different. Yes, someone was saying something. Yeah, we would be accessing the elements with the help of index. So this I will be acting as an index to the array. So what happens if I do something like I less than n plus 1? So what would be the issue? So the traversal would be 0 to n.
Madam, array will be overflow, ma'am.
Yes. Overflow error, yes.
Array index out of bounds exception error will be coming.
Yes, yes. Because we are accessing an index which is not yet defined within this array. It is out of the memory to which the array has been assigned. Okay, so this is what happens with the, this is how you can traverse an array. It's a very easy thing. This I've included so that everyone knows that what happens if you go beyond accessing the array, or what is indexing and what is the base. Okay, so can you write a program that in which we need to find whether some element exists in an array or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, if we are like suppose by 1D array we can access elements through index. Okay, so our next problem is how we can write a program such that given an element we have to find that element, whether that element is present in the array or not. So this type of problem is also called as linear search. So with the linear searching, what we have to do is like we are given an array, suppose of size 10. What we'll do, we will assign some elements to this array. Now n is supposed to be 10. We will take this value as n. We'll assign some values to this array, and then what we'll do, we'll be asked with some value, and then we'll be printing whether that value is present or not. So what we will be needing in this is a loop. Either it could be for or while, doesn't matter. What is the next requirement that we have to have for this type of problem? We need to have that element also that we need to search, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the first thing is value assignment to the array. Second is the element. Okay, so how the value will be assigned is, so let's see this program. Here you will learn one more concept of ternary operators. So I have this array. This array I have. Now I want to search whether this x is present in this or not. So what I have done is I'm using this data type bool, which is present in this stdbool.h, because it's not a data type that is present on the stdio, because we have this int and float only. So I've used this std bool library to use this bool variable. Now what I'm doing is, for the entire array, I'm trying to check whether this element is equal to x or not. If it is equal to x, I'm toggling this value of result from false to true, and I'm breaking the loop. But if I'm not able to find it, it will go to the end of the loop. Okay, so everyone is clear till this point, line number 29, right? We are all on the same page, correct? If anyone is not able to get it till line number 29, just let me know. Okay. Okay, so now we'll see that what's the concept. So the one thing is, what I can do is, like, I can check if result is true, I can print that value found. Else I can print that
Element is not found.
yeah, value is not found, right? So this is like some shorthand expression to this. This is a ternary operator. This question mark and this colon. This is a ternary operator. Okay, I'll see the doubts later, but first let me explain this thing. This is a ternary operator, so this means that this condition, then part, and the else part. That means this is the condition, this is the then part, and this is the else part. Okay, so I'll check for the condition before the question mark. I write what needs to be done in the then part, and in the colon I write what needs to be done in the else part. Okay, so this is a shorthand operation for an if else. So similarly, like the same thing goes with the nested if else also. If you want to write the ternary operator for the nested if else, the same thing will go. But the one thing that you have to keep in mind is, like, you can it's a single statement you can write in it. It doesn't have that advantage of this curly braces or blocks. Okay, so now anyone is having any doubt? Where will be the summary uploaded? Will be shared through Gmail. NPTEL will share all these things with you, Nandan.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I have a doubt. Like, is it necessary to use the bool operator, or we can just use the flag thing? Like, flag is equals to 1. If flag is equals to 1, we will print like this, like we used to do in the classes.
Yeah, you can do like that also. It's like I've introduced you with one more library where you can use this boolean.
Ma'am,
std.h, ma'am. Yes.
in the use of bool, like, uh, is it beneficial to use bool? Like, I have seen many coders to use bool instead of that flag concept, or where you can increment the thing.
Okay, so I would like to know that if you have seen people using flag, what is the data type of that flag? Flag is just variable.
It's just a variable, like, it's int. It's a
int,
data type
right?
is int.
So if
Yes.
you look into the thing, if multiple people are writing the code, it's a small thing. If only you are the one involved in the coding, then it's fine. But if multiple people are writing the code, would it be more clear to write bool, or would it be more clear to write something like integer which can take value from 0 to 255 or whatsoever its range is?
Okay, that's the thing I wanted to know, like the benefits of using bool instead of using that int
It's
concept.
more clear.
Okay.
Clarity is there in the code.
So, ma'am, when you write bool result equals to true, that means the bool can only have values 0 and 1.
Yes.
So, result equals to true means
1.
1, and
Yes.
result equals to false means it's 0.
Yes. You
So,
cannot
those.
assign more than that to the bool.
Okay, ma'am. So it's like it's optimizing the code.
Yeah, optimizing. I should not say it optimization, but it's something like you are using the memory as required.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, now we can move on to the next problem. Okay, so we'll see that how we can find whether a number is an Armstrong number or not. So can anyone tell me that what is an Armstrong number? Anyone knows anything about Armstrong number? Anyone?
Madam,
The
3
number means each digit of that number. Then if we cube each digit and do the sum, then that will be equal to the number.
Yes, Ishan. Among the sum of the previous two terms is the Fibonacci series. A number that is equal to the sum of the cube of its digits. Yes. Okay. Okay, so those who don't know that what is Armstrong number is, so if suppose I am having suppose 1, 2 and 3. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll cube each and every digit. So 1 cube
Example 153.
plus 2 cube plus 3 cube. This would be equal to 1, 8, 27. Okay, now this will be equal to how much?
36.
Okay, is this 36 equivalent to 123?
No.
No, that means it's not an Armstrong number. Similarly,
No, 153.
okay, let's check 153. 1 cube, 5 cube, 3 cube. This is equals to 1, 125 and 27. So this is equal to 153. So the cube of this number is equal to the number itself. That means it's an Armstrong number. Okay. So now everyone knows that what is an Armstrong number, right? Now can anyone tell me, with the help of the previous class concept what we have studied and this class concept, how can we write a program to check whether a number is an Armstrong number or not? What all things I need?
मैथ डॉट हेजर फाइल के अंदर मतलब पाव 3,8 डिजिट करना पड़ेगा। पहले रिमाइंडर निकल देने के बाद पावर इक्वल टू पावर निकलना पड़ेगा, उसके बाद n इक्वल टू n/10।
Okay, let's go step by step. One thing what I can say is the remainder. Then
result equal to result plus power of remainder comma 3.
Power of remainder comma 3. Okay.
Then n equal to n/10.
What is
n is equal to n by 10.
n is is equals to n by 10. Okay, that means you are taking the quotient.
Quotient.
Okay, you need the
And
remainder.
out of the loop we save if result equal in 10 Armstrong, either not.
Okay, so this needs to be stored somewhere else also, or this would be fine.
Yes, ma'am, before loop.
Okay, in the for loop. Okay, so let's see that how we can write a program that is an Armstrong series or not. Okay, we won't go with the code. First thing, we'll omit this pow. Okay, because this is something advanced that we'll get into.
The header file math.h.
Yeah, you have to use other libraries. So let's go, because we know that we have to multiply it thrice, so why not use the multiplication operator, right? We can do that also. So it's an alternative. Okay, everyone is able to see this code, right? So what this code says, we have this number. So let's forget about all these things. What we are doing is we are entering a three digit integer, because the it's a minimum requirement we are imposing. So we are taking an input, a 3-digit number, we are storing it some other integer. So first let's forget about this number, why we are storing it some other variable or not. Let's forget about this thing. This would be clear in the later lines. What loop I am running is whether the number is getting equal to 0 or not. Why? Because I am continuously dividing that number by 10 and I am finding out the remainder of the remaining number and I am adding it to the result. So the entire concept how it is working is, I have a number, suppose 153, I am writing a while loop whether this number is 0 or not. If it is not 0, what I am doing is I am storing the remainder, which is equals to num percentile 10. So for the first run it will give me 3, in the next run it should give me 5, and in the last run it should give me 1. So these are the 3 runs. Okay, now we are having this result also. Suppose how this result is storing the value is result plus remainder into remainder into remainder, because we have to do the cube, and this is equivalent to the library of the math.h, which is equivalent to remainder to the power 3. Okay, so this is shorthand if you use the math.h library. So what it is storing, what the result is storing, suppose initially the result was 1, in the first iteration I got 3, so what the result would be storing is 0 plus 3 into 3 into 3, this is equal to 27.
27.
Okay, now if I have 3, what I want is the remaining numbers. So now I'll have this question, so I'll store the number the remaining number, that is num by 10. So this will give me 15. So in the first run, this will give me 15 and this will give me 3, and the result would be 27. Okay. Now, since I have this 15, I'll I'll check whether this number is equivalent to 0 or not. It is not equal to 0. I'll again go on finding the remainder, which is equal to num percentile 10. Now the new num is 15. So this will give me 5.
5.
Okay. Now I have to do the next line, result equal to result plus remainder into remainder into remainder. So what it will give me is 27 plus 5 into 5 into 5. Okay. So 27
120.
plus 125. So this will give me 152. Okay. So the value of result will be 152. Now we'll see whether this num is it will do this num equal to num by 10, which will give me 1, and then we'll check whether this num is equivalent to 0 or not. Since it is not equal to 0, what we'll do is we'll enter this loop, we'll go on finding the remainder. So the remainder would be 1. The result will be 152 plus 1, which is equals to 153, and then I'll assign the value this question. So the question would be 0. Now this number equal to 0, so I'll go out of the loop. Now I have this result, that is 153, but what happened to my number is it is now 0. So where would I check this number to? With what should I check this? That's why before the while loop I'm storing in some auxiliary number. This number is being stored in some auxiliary number, and now I'll check my result with the auxiliary number, whether this auxiliary number that I had, is it equivalent to the result that I got. If it is so, then I'll print that it is an Armstrong number. Okay, otherwise it is not. So that's why we have this storing the number in some other variable. So everyone is clear with this thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, anyone is having any issue with this Armstrong number or? Okay, I think everyone is clear with the Armstrong number. So we can move on to the next question. So there is one more example of the Armstrong number, that is 371. You can check on to the other numbers also. It's not an issue. Now,
Now, 1 is Armstrong number or not?
which one?
1.
Yeah, it's an Armstrong number.
Okay.
Okay, there in this code we were explicitly imposing this 3-digit number. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now our next task is to how we can print a half pyramid of stars or some character. So
Using nested for loop.
yes, nested for loop is required. Yes. Any other thing?
Ma'am, nested loops are required in this program.
Yes, nested loops are required. Yes, that is correct. So does this remind us of something else that we have covered in the last session?
Ma'am, is there any space between the stars?
Yeah, there is one space.
Okay.
So if we see that it is equivalent to the concept of the rows and columns that we have seen in the last class, right? So what we need to print is this star, then this, then this. So we have columns, we have rows. That's why we need nested for loops. Okay. Now whenever we are ending with one row, we have to do /n. That is the next line. So if you are aware, we have one more escape character, that is /t. That is the tab. It will provide a one tab space between these two stars, or you can just have the space in the double quotes. Okay, it is not an issue. So this can be done in the similar fashion. If we see, so here we are just dealing with the similar kind of thing where the matrix was of n cross n. So here also we would only be asking for the rows, so the number of columns will be equal to the number of rows. I will be asking the input for the rows, and then with the rows, what I'll be doing, the first for loop will run for all these things, for this one from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 if the input is 5, and then I'll be looping on to the column, that is the second for loop. Now if you see that I'm not if I want to print a pattern like this, if it is if the row is 0, there's only one star that is printed at 0, 0. If the row is 1, then 2 stars are printed. If the row is 2, that means my indexing is starting from 0. If the row is 2, then 3 stars are printed. That means up till 0, 0, 1, 2. So there is a particular pattern that is stored in this. If my row index is I, then my column should print up till I only. Okay, not beyond that, because the maximum that it can hold is I, right? That is equivalent to I. It is a maximum. So all the values of the column should be less than or equal to I. You can check with the indexes, right? So that's why the column loop that I'll run, that will run till I. So then I'll be able to get this type of pattern. Now here what I've done is I have a star and then I've given a gap. Now one more thing that need to be noted is after every row and column printed, I have a lines next line, right? So whenever my one column is being printed, what I'll do is I'll do a next line so that I can move on to the next row. Okay, so this is how the things are done. So I'll have a loop for the rows, I'll have a loop for the columns which will run till I, then I'll print the values. When my column is printed completely, then I'll do a next line. Okay, is this clear to everyone? Okay, so similarly what you can do is you can have different rows and columns, and then you can extend the things. Okay, if you want to have 2 stars in a single line, like a multiple of 2 or something, in the similar fashion you can make the changes in the code and the same thing can be done. So in this pattern I've added some problems for you people. If you want to try, you can go with those, because these are like some standard problems that are there for the practice. So there is a half pyramid of numbers also instead of stars. There are numbers also, there are alphabets also. There's a like an inverted half pyramid, where the inverted half pyramid would look something like this. It would be something like suppose I have a set of 5, so it would be something like this. Okay, so this is called as inverted pyramid or half pyramid. So this is actually a half pyramid. If you go for the full pyramid, it would be like this one. It would be something like this. Okay, so this is called a full pyramid. So there are like multiple problems that you can play with in this. Now let's move on to the next thing, that how we can write a program to reverse a number. So can we write a program to reverse a number, and if so, how?
Yes, ma'am.
Any inputs?
I'm using loops.
Yeah, loops. Then what
Then
needs to be
one
done?
variable to set the remainder.
Yeah,
Then we
loops.
can reverse the number without using loop also, like using the concept of remainder using Armstrong.
Yeah, Armstrong is something that we'll be using. Like in Armstrong also we are using the loops, right? So how can you do that without loops?
Ma'am, like we can divide and if we know the number of digits.
If you know the number of digits.
Ma'am, or you can make some modifications in the outer loop.
Mm, like, for example,
Like for I equals to 5 and then I equals to 0 and then I keeps decreasing.
how are you assigning the value 5 to the I?
Like if you take as n as number of rows you need, then I equals to n and I less than or equals to 0. I greater than or equals to 0.
Okay, my question is how you can reverse a number. So how come the concept of rows comes into?
Ma'am, we can reverse the number by taking means extracting the number, means extracting the remainder, then calculating the number of digits, and then using that math.pow.
सौरभ थोड़ा धीरे बोल ले यार, तेरी आवाज ही जा रही है इधर पे.
Ma'am, first of all, हमें
तो
use
चीख क्यों रहा
any
है?
loop is while or for loop. First on the first remainder finding, then result equal to result into 10 plus remainder, then n equal to n by 10.
Okay. Okay, so let me write what you have said. Can you tell me again?
Okay, ma'am. In loop, first find remainder.
First, inside loop, we will find the remainder. Okay.
Then result equal to
Then result equal to
result into 10 plus remainder.
result into 10 plus remainder. Okay.
Then n equal to n by 10.
Then n equal to n by 10, where n was the number.
Number. Result equal to 0. Also declare previous.
Sorry? Okay, result equal to 0. You are saying result initially should be 0. Okay, so
Otherwise, it's condition average value.
sorry, once again, I lost your voice.
If not declared result equal to 0, then maybe it's consist a garbage value.
If result, can you come again, please? I'm so sorry, I'm not able to understand.
Ma'am, in before loop, if we can if we do not declare result equal to 0, in a loop it maybe it consists or content result a garbage value.
Yes, yes. So this is an important point. We have to initialize the result will be 0, because in C, the if you want as initialize the some variable, it would be having the garbage value. So here we want to get the reversal of a number. So this is one important point in this. Second, why we are doing something like this? Because this is the core of finding some reverse of a number. So this is something like, let's make a dry run of this concept. So let's take everyone on the same page. What he's saying is, we would be having an integer n, we would be having an integer reverse which is assigned to 0. Now we'll input a number until this number is not equal to 0. What we'll be doing is, we are having this n percentile 10. What it will give me is the remainder of the number, right? So with the remainder, what I'll do is, whatsoever was the number, since as I want to find the reverse of a number, I'll multiply that number by 10 and then I'll add it. So how this thing will be executed is, suppose I have 1 2 3 4. Okay, so with this 1 2 3 4, first I'll find the remainder, that is with by 10. So if I do it by 10, so what it will give me, remainder will be 4. Okay,
Mod 10.
yeah, mod 10. Yes, I'm saying remainder. I have to I have to do it mod 10, and this then I'll get the remainder, right? So this remainder, initially my result was 0, right? So what I'll do is, whatsoever was my result, that needs to be shifted to the tens place or the hundreds place or the thousands place, right? So my previous result would be multiplied by 10. That means initially it was 0, so 0 into 10 plus 4, so the result value would be 4. So my dry run, so the new values would be, this is result at this run 1 for 1 2 3 4. My remainder was 4, my result was 0, sorry, my initial result was 0, but my result got to be 4, and my quotient would be 1 2 3. Okay, right? Now for the run 2, my number would be this one, 123. This will be stored in this number n. Okay, so for this, what would be the remainder is 3. The result would be the previous result, that is 4 into 10, the new remainder, that is 3, which is equal to 43. That means these two numbers are being reversed. Okay, here, and the question that I'll get will be 12, which will act as a number for the next run. So this is run 3. Okay, now in this run 3, what I'll do, what would be the remainder for this is 2, and what would be the result is previous result, that is 43 into 10, because I have to shift all these numbers one place to the left, and then I have to add this remainder, because I have to reverse it. Now this remainder will be added, so this will be equal to 432. So here these three numbers are being reversed. Okay, and the quotient would be 1. So this will act as a number for the next run, run 4. We would be having 1. So now the remainder for this one will be 1, and what would be the result is previous result into 10 plus 1, that will be equivalent to 4321. and this the question that I'll get for this is 0. Now I was having this condition while this number is not equal to 0, I'll run the loop, but my number is 0, so I'll break the loop will be broken, and I'll go on printing at line number 27. Okay, so there was one person who was saying that we don't need loop. So here we can see that since we are going on multiple runs, right, and beforehand we don't know that what would be the number or how many digits the number would be containing, because we are not constraining anyone to having the input of this particular number of digits. So we cannot have the number of digits in the count on the number of digits. So that's why there is a necessity of having the loop in this. The second point is this result into 10. This is required because we are actually reversing a number with, this is the concept of reversing. Whatsoever my previous value, just multiplied by 10 and all the bits will be shifted to the left, right, and then whatsoever is the new value, that new remainder that I am getting, I'll add it to it. So this is how we get a reversal of a number. So anyone is having any issue with this? Guys, anyone is having any issue?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
what if the number is 0, 1, 2, 3? So the while loop will work on it.
See, if the number is 0, 1, 2, 3, so in the mathematics, 0 doesn't have any value if it is appended before a number, right? So it's equivalent to 1, 2, 3. In that sense, but if you want to have that 0 also to be a reverse number, then there are some tricks and the hacks that you have to apply to the code to find out that whether the number has some appended 0 or not, and how many zeros are appended, and then you can blindly append that number of zeros to the number. Stack concept and the heap concept. This I think should be covered in the C programming class. With the pointer, in the future classes, I think this will be covered. You don't have to be worried about this. Okay, so I don't think that people have any doubt with this question, so we can move on to the next problem. Okay, so so our next problem is we have to find whether a number is a palindrome or not. So can anyone tell me that what is a palindrome?
If real number and actual number is same, then it is palindrome number.
Sorry, one by one.
Ma'am, the number and its reverse are same, then it's palindrome.
Yes, the number and its reverse are same. So what do we need to do in this question?
Same as previous question. First we find reverse, and out of the loop we execute a if else statement. If reverse equal to m, then it is palindrome, otherwise not.
Yes. So it contains two concepts. One is the reversal concept that we have seen. The second is the check constraint that we have to apply. Okay, with the reverse number and the original number that we had. Okay, so we know how to find a reverse of a number, and if they are same, we can print that whether it is a palindrome or it is not a palindrome if it is not equal. So the concept are same, this concept is same. What we have to add some more line of code is this check. Okay, so I can yeah, this is should be clear because I've covered this thing. So next let's see that how we can find the GCD of two numbers. So can anyone tell me that what is a GCD?
Greatest common divisor.
Yeah, full form is greatest common divisor, but what is GCD?
The concept of also highest number which has divided both.
Okay. Anyone else?
Highest common factor.
Okay. So
Highest common factor.
Smallest number will divide and remainder 0.
okay, so let's see that how we can find the GCD of two numbers. So our first input would be, we'll take two inputs n1 and n2, that are the two numbers for which we have to find the greatest common divisor. Now here you can see this is some different type of for loop, you can see. Okay, I have an initialization, that is I equal to 1. I have this I should be less than equal to n1 and I should be less than equal to n2. That means whatsoever is the value of I, irrespective of its sorry, not irrespective, this I should be less than equal to both n1 and n2. So any of the condition, if any of the condition fails, then this loop will break. Okay, so you can so with this you can see that you can append multiple condition inside the for loop. Okay, you can have or condition, any logical operators in this, but the core thing is everything should boil down to a single value that the for loop should be able to check. Next we have this increment operator. Okay, now what we have to see is whether the I, whether it's a factor of these of this n1 and n2 or not. Right, so what we'll do is we'll check for both n1 and n2 because it should be a factor of both n1 and n2. So we'll check whether the remainder is 0 or not. If it is 0, if it is 0 for both, because we do have this AND condition, if it is 0, then we'll assign the GCD to be I, right? And then after, yes,
फॉर लूप के अंदर जो कंडीशन है ना,
हाँ,
t डेसिकल टू n1 एंड t डेसिकल टू n2, ये तो n1 और n2 के अंदर मिनिमम तक ही चेक होगा ना. तो अगर हम लोग मतलब लूप से पहले अगर मिनिमम डिफाइन कर लेते हैं यूजिंग टर्नरी ऑपरेटर, तो उसके बाद फॉर लूप के अंदर 1 to मिनिमम नंबर तक अगर लूप चलाते हैं तो अच्छा होगा ना, वो सेम ही होगा ना.
okay, you are saying that first I should check which is smaller number, it's if it is n1 or it is n2, right? And then running the loop till n1 or n2.
Yes, ma'am.
That is also fine. So okay, so who was this? Who was raised this thing? Okay, see what Rigdipa is saying is, so if this thing is not clear, so what he is saying is we'll have input of n1, we will have input of n2, then we'll check if n1 is greater than n2. If it is so, then we'll have some boolean variable x.
It is also using ternary operator.
Yeah, ternary operator. Yeah, let's not drag the ternary operator here. We can just we'll have this bool x equal to false. If n1 is greater than n2, we have to remember that what is the value of which is the greater value, right? Or instead of bool or something, we can have some other variable n3. We'll assign n3 to be n2, else we'll assign n3 to be n1, right? This is what you're saying, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so whichever is the smaller number will be in the n3, and then we will write a for loop that I equal to 1, I less than n3, and I plus plus. Okay, and here we will do the things that n1 percentile I should be equal to 0, and n2 percentile I should be equal to 0.
I less than equal to n3.
Yeah, at this point we don't know which one is n3.
No मैम, ये for loop के condition के अंदर I less equal to n3 होगा ना?
Yeah, okay. Let's take it to be 0. Yeah, it should be equal to n3, correct. It should be equal to n3, and then we'll assign the GCD to be I. Okay, so this is Rigdipa is saying just append these line of code prior to this for loop, so we'll get rid of writing I less than equal to n1 and I less than equal to n2. We'll get rid of this complex condition here. Okay, so it is similar like writing the complex condition in the for loop or having this if else condition at this point. Okay, yeah. Okay, so everyone is getting this thing, right? So here we'll be able to get the GCD. So the GCD is the lowest number that will be able to get such that number divides both n1 and n2. So here from here we'll get the smallest number which would divide both n1 and n2, and we'll store it as a GCD and we'll print it. So there are two ways, either this way which Rigdipa has told us, or like writing a complex condition inside the for loop. Yes.
Ma'am, can you show the dry run of two numbers 144 and 160 using the code? Like just once.
144 and 160. Okay, these two are very big numbers. If I do a dry run.
So ma'am, can you take a smaller number and show the dry run?
Okay. Let's take the number 2 and 5. Okay, this is fine. With 2 and 5,
ma'am, 8 and 12, would it be fine?
Okay, let's go with 8 and 12. So our code says that the loop should run till n1 and n2. So we have n1 as 8 and n2 as 12. So first let me write the code here. So at line number 1 I'll say I should start from 1. I should be less than equal to 8. and I should be less than equal to 12. The second line, if n1 n2, if n1 percentile I is equal to 0 and n2 percentile I equal to 0, then GCD is equals to I. Okay, so here if suppose when I was equal to 1, can I divide can 1 divide n1 with remainder 0? Yes, for n1 percentile 1 it is equal to 0 and n2 percentile 1 is also equal to 0. Okay, the remainder would be 8 and 12. So the GCD that I'll get in the first run will be 1. Now in the second run, when I is equal to 2, n1 percentile 2 should be is equal to 0 and n2 percentile 2 is also equal to 0. So we have GCD equal to 2. Now this value is being updated to 2. Similarly, for I equal to 3, this n1 percentile 3 is not equal to 0 and n3 and n2 percentile 3 is also not equal to 0. So the GCD remains 2 because it is not it is not able to update it. It won't go inside the if condition. Okay. Now if my I is equals to 4, is n1 percentile 4 is equals to 0? Yes. Is n2 percentile 4 is equals to 0? Yes. So the GCD will be updated to the 4. Similarly, it goes with the 5. It won't be able to update it. The GCD will be 4. And similar is the case with I equal to 6. It won't be able to update it. So the GCD will be 4. I equal to 7 also. It won't be able to update it. It will be equal to 4. I equal to 8 also. It won't be able to update it because n1 percentile 8 is equals to 0, but we had this AND condition, right? So this n2 percentile 8, that means 12 percentile 8 is not equal to 0. 12 percentile 8. So one of the condition fails, so the GCD is not updated and it remains 4. Now this I got it, is this I is updated. It is now set to 9, which fails this condition, the for condition which we had, that this I should be less than equal to 8 and less than equal to 12, right? So the loop will break. So we have this GCD equal to 4. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so anyone is having any issue? Okay, so let's move forward with the last problem, then we can end our session. Okay, similarly we have to write a program where we have to find the LCM of two numbers. So similar to this GCD, we have to write the LCM, that is the lowest common multiple. So how we can do is do this is, so here it uses the concept that Rigdipas told us in the last question. First we will check that which is the greater number with the ternary operator. After finding out the maximum among the two numbers, we'll check whether that maximum has the remainder 0 with n1 and n2 or not. Okay, if it is 0, it is fine. If it is not, then we'll go on incrementing the number. So here you can see in the last session we had this infinite loop condition. So this is equal to the infinite loop where while is 1 The while is when it goes on like running the loop forever. So we need to have the break statement. So whenever the condition is matched, the break statement will execute and the loop will go on finding the lowest common multiple. Okay, so if I run this code, if I have 2 and 4, I'm able to get the lowest common multiple as 4. So how this thing runs is, among the 2 and 4, which is the maximum? Is n1 greater than n2? Is 2 greater than 4? It's not, so it goes on to like assigning n2 to maximum. Now it checks whether this 2 divides 4 or not. Yes, it divides. And whether 4 divides 4 or not. Yes, it divides, and it's able to find the number. If it is something like it is not able to divide, then it goes, so let's take some other numbers like 5 and 7. So we have this 35. So what happens? So just let me so anyone wants me to dry run this code, or it is not able to get what is like running here, then I'll do a dry run, otherwise I'll go with the code only. Anyone wants me to? Okay, so first, for the dry run, what we have to see is that what's the logic written here. I'll just copy down the logic. We are storing, yes, I'm storing the maximum of the two numbers in max. Then while this condition is true, I'm checking whether max percentile n1 equal to 0 and max percentile n2 is equals to 0. If it is so, I'll assign the LCM to be max and I'll break. If it is not so, that means if it is not able to enter it, then I'll do the max plus plus. I'll increment the max. Okay, so this is what is written here. It breaks, or otherwise it will do plus plus max. Okay, now okay, first thing is, let's not go into the post and the pre. Let's take ourselves to the max equal to max plus 1. So this makes more, the things will be more clear with this. You can experiment with the plus plus max and the max plus plus later on. So what happens is, so let this be line number 1, this line number 2, this line number 3, this line number 4, and this to be line number 5. So here we have with line number 1, so this is a one time run. So I have the inputs to be 5 and 7. So I have a, guys kindly mute yourself please. So I have this n1 is greater than n2. This condition fails, so it will not go into this, but n2 will be assigned to the max. So the max is having 7. Now while 1, so this goes to true. If max percentile n1, that means if 7 percentile n1, that is 5, is it equal to 0? Which is not. And it is an AND condition, so I am able to find something which is false, so the entire condition would be false. So the max will be incremented. So this condition won't be executed if any other condition is false. That is what AND says. AND means both the conditions should be true. Okay, so the max will be incremented. So the max becomes 8. Okay, if it becomes 8, we go on again looping it. We check whether max percentile n1 is 0. Is 8 percentile 5 equal to 0? No. Again the max will be incremented. The max would be 9. Similarly, this 9 percentile 5 is not equal to 0. Max will be incremented till to 10. So here 10 percentile 5 is equal to 0, but it has the AND condition. So this 10 percentile 7 is not equal to 0. Again this won't go inside this, and the max will be incremented. The max becomes 11. Now again the 11 percentile 5 is not equal to 0. Again the max will be incremented to 12, similar to 13, similar to 14, similar to 15, and this 15 case will be similar to this. 15 is divided is we are able to find the remainder to be 0 with 5, but 7 does not divide it. Okay, so again the max will be incremented till 16, 17, and similarly till 35. So 35 is the number where 35 percentile 5 becomes 0, 35 percentile 7 becomes 0, which makes this if condition at line number 2, which makes this if condition at line number 2 to be true and true. Both becomes true. It comes inside, it assigns the LCM to be the max, which is 35, and then it breaks. If I am writing the break, what happens is it breaks the immediate loop, which is this while, and it comes out. So this is not executed, this line is not executed, it comes out, and we have this LCM to be 35. Okay, so is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so anyone is having any issue?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so if there, or is there anything else from the previous class that you want to?
Ma'am, I want to know something. Like I missed the assignment. So what could it?
Okay, you missed.
प्रोग्राम डैशबोर्ड एक बार देख सकते
What
हैं?
issue can it cause?
Did you miss both of your assignments?
Yes, ma'am. I didn't know that there are assignments in classes because of email issue.
Because of email issues. Okay, so you can write to the NPTEL if it is possible. The solutions, if they are not released, then you can submit the assignment after deadline, or there must be some penalty or something that you can have, and you can have your marks with that penalty. You can connect with NPTEL team, they'll guide you with this.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Khushi, I don't know what kind of question will be asked, so
हम प्रोग्राम डैशबोर्ड एक बार देख सकते हैं?
sorry.
LCM का प्रोग्राम एक बार देख सकते हैं?
Sure. So is it something that is not clear in the program? Just let me know. Or anyone else have any issue? Otherwise we can wrap up our session.
Ma'am,
Yes.
is there any group or something in which we have to do the projects, or everything we have to do individually?
Can you please repeat yourself?
Ma'am, is there any group of this class, like we have to do the projects individually, or in group we'll be doing
Are
it?
you assigned with some projects or something? Projects are also assigned, or is it just
Like
assignments?
assignments.
Assignments, they are on an individual basis, you have to do it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, guys.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
any best website recommendation from your side to learn C?
See, I'll constantly go on suggesting with the standard books, because if you go with the websites, those are not backed up by any like solid materials or something, right? They don't have references. If you want to learn you can go with the W3 schools or something where you can learn the basic concept, but if you want to learn the things in depth, you have to refer to the standard books.
Okay, ma'am. Then any recommendation of good book from your experience?
Okay, that I'll share with you in the next class. I'll do this homework and will let you know. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
रीमा तेरेसा कैसा है?
Sorry.
Ma'am,
Yes.
रीमा तेरेसा?
ma'am, uh, why are we learning C? Like there are many other languages. So can you just tell me
C is the
in
first
brief?
language that you have to learn for learning other languages. Each and every language is derived from C. Even the C++ is also derived from C.
Ma'am, is it beneficial nowadays to learn C because everybody is learning Java and other languages for the coding
See,
purpose and all?
language is just the syntax. What you have to learn is building logic. What you are learning here is building logic. These are not a real world problems that you solve in the industry or something, which you people are getting preparing yourself for, right? So until unless you're not able to look for the smaller part, how will you be able to build up a bigger thing out of that? It's just, if you go on, like if I convert this program into C++ or Java, it would be something like system dot, if I talk about Java, this printf will convert itself to system.out.println, and the scanf will be something string builder or something other. See, this is the logic, this is ternary operator, okay, but this is the logic that whether this n1 is greater than n12, and then what you have to do, this logic, the thing you have to focus is on the logic, not on the syntactical part. If you are able to build the logic, programming language doesn't matter.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
Any topic we'll discuss more, or is it over?
Nah, it's over. It's just the problems that yeah, Yashwant Kanetkar is a good book, you can go with that.
Ma'am, can you tell
रीमा
me,
तेरेसा?
tell us like what are the topics that you have told? Like till array, you have told everything.
Till array, I've told everything. It depends on what you have covered in your class. Just go with those things, because I cover the questions as per your assignments.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Excuse me,
you
ma'am.
attend this live class only, or the course in the NPTEL, the recorded one?
Sorry.
Ma'am, do you have to go through this live class only, or the videos that they are providing? The
No.
NPTEL is
You have to go with the teaching videos also,
okay,
recorded
ma'am.
videos also. These are like your doubt classes I'm taking. If you have some doubt, I'll go with those doubts. If you don't have anything, then I'll go with my presentation. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Anything else? Yes, Sushil.
Ma'am, I was asking that from where we can access the recording of these sessions.
You must have got this video YouTube video upload link from NPTEL site. Just check your mail. Okay.
Okay, ma'am, I will do that.
Okay, guys. Yeah, Rahul. Is there any issue? Hello.
Ma'am,
Yeah, Sushi.
one program of star pyramid which we did.
Sorry.
So in that I have to ask one question.
Which one?
In like star pyramid, if we get a star pyramid in which the alternate columns are removed, so what change will be there in the program?
That depends which alternate columns. You want to remove the even columns or the odd columns. If it is an even column, then you can write some check with the percentile 2, because even and odd is like we do with the percentile 2, right? If remainder
Yes.
is 0, then you cannot print. If remainder is 1, then you should print, or something like that.
Okay. So if odd columns we remove.
Is it an assignment question? First I should ask this.
No.
Then if you want to remove the odd columns, then just do the number that the loop variable percentile 2. If it is equal to 0, then print star, else don't print anything if it is equal to 1. So what will be, if a remainder is 1, that means the number is odd, you're not printing anything. All the odd columns are removed, only the even columns will be printed. It will be a space, you can just print the space there.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. I'm not sure that what type of question will be asked in the this exam. I'm not at all sure. It's all said by the professor. The professor knows it.
Ma'am, are these classes daily? Like this class which we are going through?
It's weekly.
Two times a
Yeah.
Okay, so the schedule is fixed Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, I take the Monday one, the other person takes the Tuesday one. Yes, the schedule are fixed.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, guys, let's. I'll close this session.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.